From Washington, here is the news in VOA Special English. At least 34 people were killed when 2 bombs exploded Wednesday just outside the Syrian capital, Damascus. Activists say vehicles carrying the bombs exploded in an area that is home to many Christians and Druse. Syria's Sana state news agency called the attack an act of terrorists. Separately, some opposition groups placed a video recording on the Internet claiming to show a downed government warplane and the captured pilot. The video cannot be independently confirmed. Hundreds of Egyptians demonstrated against President Mohamed Morsi Wednesday for a 6th day. They are angry about the president's order that bars judges from questioning his decisions. Also on Wednesday, 2 of Egypt's highest courts said they will suspend work in protest of the order. Egypt's cassation and appeals courts announced that they would go on strike until the Supreme Constitutional Court rules on the declaration. The group writing Egypt's new constitution said it would complete work on a final version later Wednesday. Many of those opposed to Mr. Morsi have stopped taking part in writing the Constitution. They say their voices are not being heard. Several more European countries say they are supporting a Palestinian Authority effort to increase its diplomatic position at the United Nations. Spain, Denmark, and Switzerland announced their support on Wednesday. The United States and Germany say they will not support the Palestinian effort. Israel also opposes any independent Palestinian actions for statehood. Australia has said it will not enter a vote on the issue. 66% of UN member states have already recognized Palestine as a state. Tibetan sources tell VOA an 18-year-old man has died after setting himself on fire. His suicide was part of self-immolation protests against Chinese rule in Tibetan areas of western China. The sources said Sangye Tashi self-immolated at around 11 p.m. local time Tuesday in the Gannan Tibetan Autonomous Prefecture of Gansu Province. They said he called for the release of Tibetan political prisoners and the return of Tibet's exiled spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama. Tibetans later carried his body to a nearby house. The Philippines has become the second Asian nation to refuse to recognize China's new electronic passports. The passports include a map showing the South China Sea's disputed waters as Chinese territory. The Philippine Foreign Ministry said Wednesday that marking the Chinese passport could be seen as accepting what it calls China's excessive territorial claim. The South China Sea is claimed in part by the Philippines, Brunei, Malaysia, Taiwan, and Vietnam. India has also objected to the Chinese map, which shows 2 Indian-controlled Himalayan areas as part of China. You are listening to the news in VOA Special English. Democratic Republic of Congo officials say the rebel group M23 has killed 64 people since it seized the city of Goma last week. A government spokesman made the accusations Wednesday. He also said that more than 220 civilians have been wounded in Goma. United Nations officials and aid workers also reported deaths in the city, but they have not said who may be responsible. The political chief of M23, Jean-Marie Reniga, told VOA on Tuesday that the group will leave Goma by Friday as a sign of goodwill. An independent group investigating Afghanistan's failed Kabul bank says a few individuals acted with what it called reckless disregard in tricking the bank. It also says a lack of government supervision and enforcement added to the loss. The committee reported Wednesday that more than $800 million in illegal loans were made to 19 individuals and businesses. One such loan was made to the bank's former chairman. American corporate leaders visited President Barack Obama and lawmakers this week to urge an answer to a 2-year spending dispute. The country faces $600 billion in spending cuts and higher taxes for most American workers. The measures are to begin on January 1st, unless President Obama reaches a deal with Congress on a new financial plan. Financial experts say that failure to reach a compromise could send the world's largest economy into a new recession. British officials say Russian businessman Alexander Perepelchnaya, who was linked to a Russian corruption incident, has died under mysterious conditions. Local police say they are waiting for test results and a second medical examination of the body. The 44-year-old Russian collapsed and died outside his house near London on November 10th. He had sought safety in Britain 3 years ago after giving evidence to Swiss officials on organized crime in Russia. He also had provided evidence about the death of Russian anti-corruption lawyer Sergei Magnitsky. Mr. Magnitsky died in jail after exposing tax cheating. Several other people linked to his case have died under mysterious conditions. Hundreds of Burmese villagers and Buddhist monks are ignoring government orders to end a 10-day protest. They are protesting the expansion of a copper mine. Protesters remained in several camps near the mine, ignoring a warning to leave by Tuesday. A VOA reporter says the number of protesters is growing. Burma's Home Ministry called for the occupation to end so that lawmakers can make a fact-finding visit. Police in Bangladesh have arrested 3 factory officials in connection with a fire that killed at least 110 people. The police chief in Dhaka said the 3 officials were arrested Wednesday. Reports say factory supervisors told employees to return to work after fire alarms rang on Saturday. Locked doors trapped workers inside the building. Wednesday, thousands of workers protested for a 3rd day in Bangladesh. They blocked streets and threw stones at buildings.